Hi, and welcome back to The Simple Creative. As you know, this is the podcast for you if you're trying to start up something from nothing. Today's guest is Moyosore Balogun. She's a lawyer who is licensed to practice law in the province of Ontario, Canada, and also in Nigeria. She's also a creator on YouTube where she shares law and lifestyle related content with her audience. On this episode, we talk about the role and importance of a lawyer in the 21st century, the how-tos of becoming a lawyer who is licensed to practice, and the balancing of a law career and a creative lifestyle and also.
If that's what you want to do, I know people who most lawyers I know are entrepreneurs, like they do other things on the side rather. They sell clothes or they vlog, they just do other things. So if you have something that you love to do, and you also want to practice law as well, why not? Like combine both, if your schedule or your career allows for you to do that.
As you continue to listen, you might want to get your pen and your paper ready because this is one really informative episode that I believe you will learn a lot from. And without further ado, let's get to the podcast. You're listening to The Simple Creative, a podcast for those bold enough to start up something from nothing. My name is Oladimeji Ajegbile. I'm a designer, podcaster, and a creative who is constantly pursuing and exploring what it means to live a simple yet meaningful life. On this podcast, I sit with creative persons who have been able to do this particular thing of starting up something from nothing. They tell us their stories, they take us through their process, and basically help others to make impact by starting up something from nothing. If you want more details, visit oladimeji.com/podcast. Again, it is oladimeji.com/podcast. It's so great to have you on the podcast. Thank you for accepting the invite. It means a lot. So just to start with a couple of background, because it's always nice for people to know who is on the session. Who are you and what do you do basically?
Okay, so my name is Moyosore Balogun. That's my full name, but people call me Mo. Most people call me Mo, short form of Moyosore. And I'm a lawyer. I'm also a Christian. And I'm a lawyer licensed to practice law in the province of Ontario, Canada, and also in Nigeria. That's like a short form or like a summary of what I do.
All right. So how's been the journey being a lawyer? How's it been like?
It's been very interesting, very, very interesting and challenging as well. And I didn't practice law in Nigeria, so I don't really have I don't have any experience from Nigeria. I only have experience here in Canada, but it's been interesting and challenging. I would say that.
All right. So by interesting, you mean is it like the work over there? It's not like overwhelming or anything, or it's quite like interesting for you because you love to do it, or there is no other choice?
Interesting because I actually love what I do, and people ask me on a scale of 1 to 100, how much do you love your job? I say 150. That's how much I like. Yes, it's pretty chill, and then I feel like it has a combination of everything I love to do. I love writing, so I get to write lots of memos. I write draft statement of defenses, claims. I draft a lot of pleadings. I write a lot, and I also love talking as well. So I get to go to court. I have depositions or discoveries. I have settlement conferences. I argue motions. So it's a balance and a mix of all the things I love to do, right? Yeah. So that's why I say it's interesting.
Okay. So when did you finish law school?
Okay. So law school in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I finished the Nigerian law school in 2016, and I got called to the Nigerian bar in November 2016. It wasn't November 2016. Yeah.
But do you think it's like difficult practicing law in Nigeria? Because I have a couple of friends who complain a lot, and I wonder why. Like, why complain? Okay, you've gone to law school, you've been called to bar. So what next? Usually, a lot of them just cycle back on several different things. Then they probably just switch to something else. And I'm wondering, why did you spend that amount of years in school only to leave? So do you think there's an issue with the system in Nigeria?
I don't know if there's an issue with the system in Nigeria, but growing up, a lot of us wanted to practice law because law was this noble profession, Like if you're a lawyer, it just made you stand out in a different way. So we grew up seeing lawyers as, just these amazing people that we wanted to be. But like the reality is so different, because I'll start with the first thing I would say is how much lawyers earn in Nigeria. Honestly, it's not encouraging, right? After studying law for 5 years, going to Nigerian law school for another year, and coming just having done education for about 6 years, and then finally getting called to the bar. Some people who didn't have the opportunity to go to maybe a private university, who went to a federal university, sometimes I know people who were in university for maybe 7-8 years,
Wow.
and then come out, they become lawyers, and then you're offering them 50,000 naira as what? Is that supposed to be transportation fee or what? Even the best law firms in Nigeria or in Lagos, I know they pay maybe their first year associate maybe 250,000, 300,000, which is good, but then it can be
But
better,
but that's
You know
not
what I'm
good
saying?
enough for Lagos life.
It's not good enough for Lagos life. And I know, because I was based in Ibadan before I moved to Canada. I know the law firm I worked in, they used to pay the law firm I interned in or summered in, they used to pay their lawyers maybe 60,000, 70,000. It's not encouraging. So most lawyers strive and practice, and they're like, you know what, this thing isn't yielding. In as much as we love law, the practicing law is also a business. I
Yeah.
hope it's a business, and you want to make money from it as well. You want to know that you're doing something you love and you're making money from it as well. And I feel like it's not cutting it in Nigeria financially. So that's why most people just leave, honestly.
But would you encourage people to like pursue a different line of work and at the same time still, balance it with their career?
Well, if that's what you want to do, I know people who most lawyers I know are entrepreneurs, like they do other things by the side, on the side rather. They sell clothes or they vlog, they just do other things. So if you have something that you love to do,
Yeah.
and you also want to practice law as well, why not? Like combine both, if your schedule or your career allows for you to do that.
All right. No, I'm quite aware that you vlog. Should I call it vlog? Or you create content on YouTube talking about
Yeah.
law, grad school, and
Mm-hmm.
basically lifestyle in Canada. And I just
Yeah.
want to know because when you hear lawyers or when you hear a
Mm-hmm.
lawyer, there is this sort of narrative that's already, grounded for people to believe that, oh, lawyers are usually very busy people. And
Yeah.
in a way, someone has actually explained, how lawyers behave to me. Like some of them are stuck up and they don't really even have time to do their own personal things. So how have you been able to really see that entire world? Because YouTube and or creating content and being a lawyer, they are almost extremes, but then you still found a way to like connect them. So how did you do that?
How did I do that? Okay, I'll start with you saying that lawyers are stuck up. And I feel like that narrative came from movies that we've watched. I recently just started watching Suits, and I actually did a video about it. I'm yet to release the video.
Okay.
Just comparing like Suits with real life. Is this how practicing law is in real life? The
Yeah.
way it is portrayed in Suits. So when you watch Suits, shows like Suits or Scandal, like lawyers are stuck up. Lawyers are very busy. You see lawyers working until like 9 p.m. or like 11 p.m., and it feels like, or they portray it as like lawyers don't have a life, always busy doing other stuff, which is to an extent true, but then again, it depends on the type of law you're practicing, and it depends on what you're working as well. So for example, if you work on a Bay Street, if you work at a Bay Street law firm, Bay Street is a very popular street in Toronto,
Okay.
and yeah, there are like big law firms on Bay Street. So if you work
Okay.
in one of those law firms, you will work late hours, you will close at 10 p.m., especially if you're a first year associate or if you're an intern. I have a friend who was working in one of the top law firms on Bay Street, and she, I think on Sunday she was going to church, and then she got a text from one of the partner, "I need you in the office now." So obviously she had to turn back and go back, go to work. But I, on the other hand, like I work for the government, and I work for the City of London, and it is much more relaxed than working on a Bay Street law firm, and
Okay.
that's just the honest truth about it. And lawyers are busy, yes, but then I find that most people use the word, how do I put it? Most people over use the word busy, right? In as much as we are all busy, you create time for what you love to do. And I'm not saying it is easy. Trust me, it is not easy. When I first started, it was very overwhelming. It was very challenging. And it is still very challenging. But I believe that you can create time for what you love to do. And most people close from work at, let's say, 6 p.m., 7 p.m.
Yeah.
When you get home, what are you doing? You get, like, there's still time after
There's still
work. On
time.
the weekends, what are you doing? Even if you close at, there are times when I used to close at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., but then there are days when I close at 6 p.m. Do you understand? There are days when I close at 5 p.m.
Okay.
I still have time. And so when I'm coming home, trust me, it's a lot of sacrifice. It's not easy. It's a lot of sacrifice. There are days when I have a dinner with
Okay.
someone, and then I'm done. I close at work. I close at maybe 5 p.m. I take my laptop, is always with me. Always with me. I take my
Always.
laptop. I'm in my car, maybe trying to upload one video, and then I'm like, oh, I'm coming out. I'll meet you. Or maybe I go fix my nails, or while I'm getting my nails done or my toes done, I'm on my computer editing videos. So it takes a lot of work, but then again, it is doable. Even
Yeah.
if you're a doctor, like, it is still very possible because we have time. You just have to create time, honestly, for what you love doing. That's how I see it.
Sometimes these things are already a part of our lives. So
Yeah.
easily letting that part out and kind of making it
Mm-hmm.
show in everyday things, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
struggle we all, kind of put ourselves in are some that we didn't even bargain for, but these things just happen. Because your passion for wanting to, help people, make people
Mm-hmm.
realize or how to get into grad school and a couple of other things, if you really
Yeah.
put all these things together, your passion kind of drives that. And if you decide to
Yeah.
shut that off
Yeah.
because you claim busy, then what's
Mm-hmm.
the point? All right.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
before the entire episode started, I took to Instagram and then I asked,
Mm-hmm.
people questions. Like people should ask you questions, and then there were a
Yeah.
couple of questions that came in, especially for you. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
be, taking you through some of these questions right now. Now, they are not
Okay.
like difficult questions. I wouldn't say difficult because some of them are loaded. But then there are some questions that it's just as you see fit. So just take it
Mm-hmm.
whichever way you see. All right. So the first question here is from Grace Christos, and she says that did you do law in Nigeria? If yes, what counsel would you have for current aspirants to the bar?
Okay, yes, I did law in Nigeria. I got my LLB degree from Afia Babalogun University. That was from 2010 to 2015. So
Okay.
yes, I did law in Nigeria before I moved to Canada.
Okay.
And what was the second part of the question? Sorry.
Okay. So the second part, she says that um, what counsel do you have for current aspirants to the bar?
The advice I have. I guess the first advice I have is that you will fail.
Oh my
And I know
God.
this sounds this sounds very harsh, but that's just the honest truth. You will fail. And when you fail, and it doesn't necessarily mean you will fail the bar exam or
Okay.
fail one of your law school exams, you will just fail at something in life. And don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. Keep pushing. And when you fail, I feel like, I believe this is that failure is an opportunity for you to learn,
Okay.
what you can do better. What did I fail in? How can I make sure that this doesn't repeat itself next time? And it's okay to fail. So if I'm assuming this person is still in law school, or this person is looking to get into law school, so let's say you applied to a particular law school and you didn't get in, you might feel discouraged and sad and all that, but it's part of life.
Yeah.
Shake it off, apply again, so you will fail. Just have that at the back of your mind. And when you fail, know that it's okay to fail and don't let that stop you. And I think another advice or another counsel I would give is surround yourself with positive people. best thing you can do for yourself is surround yourself with positive people. If you surround yourself with negative people, or people who will tell you you can't do this, or it's not possible, or you can't achieve this, soon enough you will start to believe that about yourself. So surround yourself with positive people. And still back to the failure thing I spoke about. Once you try something the first time and you fail at it, don't stop. That don't just give up. That doesn't mean you can't be good at it because you failed once. Just keep trying. And I know this doesn't necessarily apply to lawyers. It applies to everybody. So it applies to everybody. Yeah.
Wow. That's one very scary but important counsel, because when you hear people say you will fail, they think it's a terrible thing, but then it's just a natural part of life, because without failure there won't be success. And
yes, it is.
Getting all these things into our brains, it kind of makes a lot of things easier. All right, so the next question here is from Amarachi Divine Moses, and she says, how do you balance law school, EQ coaching, and podcast? It can be overwhelming.
What's EQ coaching?
I think it's emotional intelligence. I don't know if the person knows you that well. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Okay. How do I balance this? I already spoke, a little bit about this when we started having this conversation. And the number one thing I do is I plan. I'm so big on planning. I'm such a planner. Sometimes I overdo it. So I always plan, once I get back from work, what am I doing? From 9 to 10, I'm editing this video. From this to that, I'm doing this, and I allot certain times and certain days, to certain things. Okay. Obviously, on the weekdays, I work. Mondays to Fridays, I work 8:30 to 4:30. But the nature of my job requires me sometimes to work overtime. So sometimes I'm working late. I take work home. Now that we are working from home, it's perfect for me. I take work home and all of that. So I make sure I don't schedule like my personal stuff or, my YouTube things or anything. I don't schedule it on the weekdays because I have to focus on my work. But on the weekends, my weekends are always full, always full, recording videos, editing videos. So I guess the number one way I do this is by planning. I make sure I plan properly and I make sacrifices. So sometimes, let's say I'm supposed to wake up on Saturdays. Most people want to sleep in. I can't afford to sleep in because I have things to do. Yeah. So instead of waking up at 12 or 1, I'm waking up at 8, because I have to get to recording. I have to do IG live videos. I have to respond to emails, reach out, respond to people's DMs, and do all these things. So I guess it's just making sacrifices. And one thing I'm going to mention is sometimes these things, you get burnt out. And I won't lie, sometimes I get burnt out. I just want to shut down because I'm tired. I'm not a machine, so if I'm working 9 to 5 every day, doing YouTube, doing all these things, I'm planning, sometimes it just gets here. Like I just have enough and I'm like, I'm done. And it's okay. It's okay to shut down everything. And I know you have several videos, on how you explain to us, I think one time you said you got burnt out or something, and you told us the things you did in order for you to get back. So it's okay to just shut everything down, get back, be refreshed, and come back. And I do that too. So it's not, I'm not always going every day,
Creatives don't know when to draw the line between.
That's the thing.
Yeah, like you need to be able to draw that line. There's some sort of boundary you can put on how much you push yourself. Because today there's all these motivational talks. You have to be active. You have to show up and all those things. And when people start saying show up and consistency, to the very regular person who doesn't even understand what is happening at first, you can get overwhelmed. And with this age of Instagram and social media in general, overwhelm is all over the place. Like you don't even know when it starts to happen, and it just happens.
You have to protect yourself. And that's the thing. When I first started vlogging or creating YouTube content, I was like, oh, this is nice. I'm enjoying this. I like it. On Mondays to Fridays, I'm working. And excuse me, I didn't know where to draw the line. And I didn't know it was getting to me. I didn't know I needed an assistant. I have an assistant. So don't think I'm a superwoman, and I'm doing all these things. I have someone who is assisting me reads my emails, handles my social media platforms, because I just couldn't do it all by myself. And I thought I could do it by myself, but I broke down. It really got to me. And that's the thing. I didn't know when it was getting to me. I didn't know where to draw the line. And I would reply emails, because I had a passion to help people, right? So someone is sending me an email at 12 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. But I was like, no, emails every Friday. I had to just draw the line. And this is also very important. If you need to get help, get help. If you need to delegate, I didn't know how to delegate before the meeting. I wanted everything for myself, but then I discovered that I was just deceiving myself. So if you need to delegate. If you need to collaborate to make your life easier. Yeah.
Like, we don't even realize how much being able to trust someone else with what we do, how important it is. Sometimes I actually have trust issues with some of the things I do, but then it got to a point where I was broken down for more than 3 months. I couldn't do anything. Like the videos you're talking about. And then that was when I realized that, see, if you die tomorrow, everybody would continue.
Life will continue. I'm not the only person talking about ITLs, internet. There are so many on the internet. So if I die tomorrow, in fact, my friend would tell me that if you don't reply this email today, will you die? And I'm like, I won't die. If you don't reply this email today, they will get from another source, which is true. Do your best, but then now I put a lot of priority on taking care of myself, taking care of my mental health. Oh, it is so important. It is so really important. You don't know when it starts getting to you, when you start breaking down, when you start having anxiety, and all because of social media, and I haven't posted in this, I haven't posted in that. But now my motto is, if I don't post, everybody will be all right. Everybody will be all right. I'm serious. Everybody will be all right.
That's the truth.
Because I'm not even getting paid, by the way. Wow. This is just something I'm doing because I love doing it. And we just have to know when to draw the line.
Yeah, that's very important. Like that line, if you don't do it from the very beginning, it will just find its way into your life and just to cripple you. Like you become vegetable in the things you're really good at, and that's not a fun thing. So I kind of remember when you were about starting with YouTube, and and then that was when the entire work from home thing started as well, sort of almost the same time. And then you had a couple of challenges balancing the work from home thing. So how have you been able to cope with working from home? Because now there are a lot of memes on the internet talking about, now it's like you're living or work.
I know. Again, when I first started working from home, it was very challenging because I didn't know where to draw the line. Drawing the line is very important. And I don't know if this just happens to me. At first, I wouldn't realize what I'm doing wrong until maybe after a month. I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this all wrong, And when I first started working from home, I was really working. I was working overtime. I wake up, my work laptop. I don't have to drive. Do you understand? So I'm working immediately. At night, 9 p.m., my laptop. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't responded to this lawyer. My laptop. Oh my God, I have discoveries next week. My laptop. So I was always working. And I was like, you know what? Listen, baby girl, listen. You need to know where to draw the line, And I was like, okay, I will work from 8:30 to 5. Okay. And if I still need to work overtime, I will. But most times I try to, if it can wait, the magic, it will wait. That's what I do now. If it can wait, it will wait. And, most things can wait, honestly. Yeah. So that's it. I've just meant to know when to stop working and know when to transition into personal stuff. And it's working fine for me.
All right. So what's your opinion about people who kind of feel if they don't get it done now, they will never get it done again? Because I'm that kind of person where
I'm like that too.
Oh my God. So I kind of focus on one thing, and the moment I'm productive at one particular thing, I tend to put in everything into it, not realizing that I'm sabotaging other things. And then by the time I realize that, wait, so you focus too much on a client work and then you forgot to take care of yourself. And now you're struggling with, backaches, headache, and a couple of other things. I'm like, but I'll make money now. But eventually, when the
Mm-hmm.
money comes, you just like, so what's the point of everything? After, like I remember there was a particular day I had worked
Mm-hmm.
since I woke up 4 a.m. and then
Mm-hmm.
it was 11:30 in the night.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when
Mm.
that was the very first time I stood from my desk. And I'm
Wow.
like, since 4 a.m. And my mom was just
Whoa.
shouting like, Dimeji, you've not eaten, you did this, you did that. And then you'll come to me later and start saying you're feeling this way, you're feeling that way, that. If this
Mm.
work is taking up so much of your personal life, then is it worth doing at all?
Is it really worth it? That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Because now we don't, oh yeah, you wanted to say something?
Go on. No, no, no. Please go on.
All right. Because sometimes we just feel I have to do something. And then if we don't analyze it properly and say, okay, is
Mm.
it a have to? Is it a necessity? Is it
Mm.
urgent? Is it like I kind of
Mm.
create some sort of priority for myself? I work with three different systems. I work with
Mm.
urgency, importance, and then necessity.
Oh, I
Now,
like that.
yeah,
I
some
really
things
like.
are important, but they're not urgent. Some things
Mm.
are urgent and are important. Those ones go to the top of the list. And then there are some things that are
Mm.
like necessities, like paying the bill,
Mm.
getting gas and a couple of other things. Yeah, they are necessary,
Mm.
but it's not like you have to do them right now. So
Wow.
sometimes we now, transition into this rabbit hole where we focus too much on
Very
the
guilty
necessary
of this.
ones.
Very guilty.
And then we neglect the urgent ones that you now
Yeah.
have to work over time, like have all
Mm.
nighters to just make up that space.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
realize that eventually it's like you've intentionally decided to make your work life balance suffer because now the
Yeah.
work part is not even being fulfilled the way it ought to be. And at the same time, your
Yeah.
work life, your personal life now is
Mm.
all in chaos. So we really
Mm.
need to know when to, create a balance. Now I realize that
I.
balance is not 50-50. Yeah, balance isn't
Mm.
50-50. So know which one should take the priority. So know which one
Word.
should take priority and know how to, lead it into the next thing. Um,
Mm.
I think I remember there
Yeah,
was a
that's
particular video you made about failing, or I think it was about the NAC. There was a particular exam, and then you talked about, yeah.
exam.
And I
Yes.
realized something that sometimes the things you've done before and then you're doing it
Mm-hmm.
again, or
Mm-hmm.
if you get it right the very first time, it kind of seems
Mm.
tricky because you
Yeah.
automatically assume you know it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So how has been, all your accumulated experiences, how have they really shaped who you are today?
Oh, I don't even know where to start from. I believe my experiences have helped me not take things for granted.
Okay.
Because before now, I realized that I took a lot of things for granted, and I thought, boom, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to happen. And especially you just give an example, failing an exam, failing my bar exams and one of the NC exams, and I just always thought, like it's an exam, like just study and pass. And I studied and studied and studied, but I still failed. So it just really helps me, understand that you can't take anything for granted, Moyo. You can't take anything for granted. Another thing it helps me realize is that it's failure is part of life.
Yeah.
Now I'm fine with failing. Before Dimeji, I didn't know how to fail. I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to hear the word failure. I didn't want to be associated with failing, right? But now, like, my experiences have taught me that it's okay to fail. Like, it's okay to fail, and also my experiences have also helped me not give up easily.
Yeah.
Before I didn't have a lot of tolerance for things. I would pick up one thing, and if it wasn't working out, I dropped it. But now, like, I'm more resilient, I'm more persistent, more consistent with something. So if I pick up something and it doesn't work out, okay, I'll try again, and I'll still keep trying until it eventually works out. And if it's not working out, I try to analyze things. Okay, what did I do wrong? What am I not doing right? Why is this not working out? How can I improve myself? How can I do this thing better?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's I would say, in a nutshell,
All right.
that's yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So we'll be going into the rounding up session right now. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's something new that has been introduced to the entire podcast. It's called trivia, very basic, and it kind of relates to your field. So you'd mentioned three persons that are in your niche or in your field that are really good and you kind of learn from or look up to. You mentioned three names, and then you talk about what you love about just one of them. Maybe the things you've learned, what people should look out for in people like this.
Okay. I wasn't expecting this. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's trivia.
I know. I know. The first person is Moyosore Balogun.
Okay.
And she's an internationally trained lawyer as well. She's a lawyer in Nigeria, and right now she's taking the licensing process so that she can requalify as a lawyer here in Canada. And I love Moyosore a lot because, first of all, we're namesakes.
Yeah.
So we have the same name, and she does something similar to what I do as well. She's very passionate about helping internationally trained lawyers. She has a page on Instagram called Niger Lawyers in Canada, and she dishes out a lot of good information, that a lot of internationally trained lawyers can learn from. So she gives out a lot of very useful information, and I like her for that. And the reason why I look up to her is because she's very consistent at what she does, and she believes that the sky is big enough for everyone to fly. You know how some people are very like, this field is for me, and I'm the only one doing this. I'm the only one. I don't want any other person to do this. She's not like that. She's very open-minded, and I love her for that. The second person is Miriam. Miriam is also a lawyer in Nigeria, and she's going through the process of getting licensed as well to practice law in Canada. She's also, I think, the founder of Getting Consulting, and I love her because she does something similar to what I do. She helps graduate students who are looking to get into their desired graduate school with scholarships and funding. That's a lot of international students want scholarships. So she helps them because she's gotten a lot of scholarships, and she's teaching people how they can also succeed and get into top graduate schools in the world, honestly. And I like her for this. And I also like the fact that she's very willing to teach, and willing to share her secrets. I've reached out to her a couple of times. Miriam, when I was writing my first book, NCA Startup Pack, I know she has written a couple of books. I reached out to her, Miriam, I want to write this book. How do I go about it? Miriam, I want to do an online course. How do I go about it? She's done several online courses, and she will teach you. She will show you, this is how I did it. These are the mistakes I made. I don't want you to make these mistakes. And I like that about her. And the last person I will mention is Mrs. Kemi Oduwole. Mrs. Kemi Oduwole is a lawyer in Canada. She's also a lawyer in Nigeria as well, and she's an immigration lawyer, and she helps a lot of people, who are looking to requalify as lawyers in Canada. And the whole process is very challenging. It can be very daunting, and sometimes you need someone who has been there, who has gone through the experience to put you through. And she's my mentor, actually, and she was my mentor when I started, and she's still my mentor. And she showed me the ropes, told me what to do, told me how to go about it, and I really appreciate her for that. Yes, so those are the three people.
All right, well, that's amazing. So looking at these three people, there are people who help people get better, and you're kind of in that line too. So there's a question here from Evelyn, and she says that I'm currently in uni, year 1, studying law. What should I expect from, life after school or life after university? What should I expect?
Evelyn. I like this question because this is something, and I like that she's thinking.
Yeah.
Because this is something that myself and my friends didn't think about when we're uni. And then now that we are adults, we're having a conversation a while back, and we're like, God, if only someone told us what life after school was going to be like. Like, if only someone had this conversation with us. So I like that she's asking this question now. So Evelyn, life after school is different from life in school, right? I feel like, especially if you went to a private university, it's such a bubble. because everything is, and I went to Akababa University and everything was on campus. You had classes on campus, then you went to the hostel, and then you bought food. Cafeteria was just like right there. Everything was on campus. You're not thinking about finances a lot because for some of us, our parents, we're fortunate to have our parents sponsor us through the entire thing, give us allowance every month, and just our lives were just very smooth. And then getting out of uni, we realized that, oh boy,
There's a lot.
this is a different like I was like, wait, what? Like I wasn't expecting this. Like adulthood like rolled up on me like, without any prior notice. It's different because I believe that you start to do things by yourself. You start to take care of yourself financially. That is big, right? You start to pay your own bills. You start to, and nobody tells you these things. You need to learn how to file your taxes. You need to apply for a job. And trust me, you might apply for 10 jobs and not even get called back. You need to learn how to deal with discouragement. You need to learn how to have a good emotional intelligence, right? You need to learn how to handle your emotions. There's just so many things you need to learn, and you will learn, because by the time you do things and you don't do them well, you learn from your mistakes and all of that. So I'm so sorry, remind me of the question. I was just very
So she says she's in year one in law. Law, is it? Do you call it law school or uni? I don't know.
Uni.
All right,
Nigeria.
so she's studying law in uni and she's in year one, and she's asking, what are the things she should look out for, like for life after school?
Life after school, yeah. I guess I don't even know. Just I feel like she should know that things will definitely change after uni, but I don't think I can explain it. You have to experience it yourself. That's just all
just keep
say.
an open mind and know what you're doing, right?
Keep an open mind. I know that once you leave school, you're going to experience. It's going to be a shift, and it's going to be very different. And be ready. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Yes, and then you understand better when you experience it.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, so there's one last question from the people who ask questions online, and the person is like, so your YouTube channel, what do people stand to gain when they commit to what you do?
Okay, so I focus on 3 major things, and the first one is to help internationally trained lawyers qualify in Canada. So if you're an internationally trained lawyer, you will gain a lot, because trust me, a lot of the information online is just scattered everywhere. I bring this information, I put it together, and I present it to you. So you will understand how to requalify as a lawyer. You will understand what the exams are like, and I share I have a touch of my personal experience with it as well. So it's not like I'm bringing information online. I'm getting information and I'm explaining it to you, in real time, how it happened to me, and also the mistakes that I made and how you can do things better. So I feel like you will gain that as an internationally trained lawyer. Also, if you're looking to immigrate to Canada, there's so many things people don't tell you. I blog about create content about lifestyle in Canada, and how to succeed once you immigrate to Canada, because trust me, there are so many things people don't know. How to write a resume, how to apply for a job. Once you come here, what jobs should you do? Cost of living in Canada. People hear, oh, Toronto, Vancouver, not knowing that these cities are very expensive. And there are other cities you can go to that will help you save more money. So I talk about all these things, the provinces in Canada that are very cold, provinces to avoid. I talk about lifestyle in Canada, and I help you get ready, I help those who are looking to immigrate to Canada get ready. So you know what to expect once you move into Canada, and the amount of money you need to have, and all these things. And also, if you're looking to get into graduate school, I talk about that as well. People also need information about graduate school, whether to apply to a college or university, how much it costs. Scholarship is big. Scholarship and funding, a lot of, because international fees are super expensive. So people are like, oh, scholarship, funding, how can I get this? How can I get that? So I talk about all these things on my channel. And if you watch my channel, subscribe and commit, you will get good information about all of these things.
Oh, that's very generous.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, so we're running up now, and this is already a particular question that kind of features on all episodes, and it's one thing that is common to a lot of creatives. Now, with some sort of peculiarity to, you know, creatives who are into law, I know juggling both is a little, not a little bit, it's quite challenging because it kind of seems like extremes. But now that you're already there, how do you deal with doubt, if you deal with doubt, you know, with the things you do? And what advice would you have for someone who is also in the same situation? Because one of the main reasons why people try to run away from what they love is probably because of the challenges, the doubts, all those things that just springs up along the way. So do you deal with doubt? That's the question. And how do you deal with it? What do you do? And what advice would you have for someone currently in the same position?
Okay. So yes, I do deal with doubts. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did you do a video about having an imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I did something similar.
Yeah. And I watched that video. I was like, I can relate, boy. Like, trust me, I can really relate. Yeah. So sometimes you do things and you're like, oh, is it good enough? I don't know if it's good enough. Like, am I a fraud? Like, will people think like I'm not, you know, my stories are not real and all that stuff, or my experiences are not valid and all that stuff. But the number one way I deal with it is having good people around me, having positive people around me that know who I am, that know what I stand for, and I would always speak positive words into my life. So whenever I'm dealing with doubts, or I feel like, oh, like what I'm even doing, is it even valid? I like people watching this, I reach out to my friends and I'm like, guys, I'm feeling this way, and they encourage me immediately. And trust me, for me that helps. That really helps. It's just like, okay, you know, I guess you know, I'm doing something good, I should continue doing this. So that really helps. Another thing that helps is people sending in encouraging videos. And I think we had a conversation, encouraging text messages. Okay. And I think we had a conversation about this once where like I was almost giving up. Trust me, I've I've given up on this thing like a billion times, but then I come back. So I like reached out to you just saying that, Dimedi, I'm tired, I want to give up and all of that. And just after I reached out to you, I think 2 people sent me a message just saying that, oh, your videos are very helpful. Thank you. Please don't stop doing it. Continue doing this. Wow. So imagine you having doubts and having people who are validating you and saying, no, like, listen, what you're doing is good. We are benefiting from what you're doing. That encourages me, honestly. And that just tells me that, okay, what I'm doing is very valid. And there are people out there who are gaining from what I'm doing. And I think there was one thing you said, that Moyo, even if it's just one person, you know, or 2 people who are gaining from this, like that's enough to keep you going. Yeah. So that is how I deal with doubts. And that is how I would encourage someone who is dealing with doubts to, you know, surround yourself with people who will always validate you. And then, you know, just listen to the people who listen to your audience and take whatever good feedback they're giving you, take it. Yeah, don't discard it.
All right. Well, that's awesome. It has been an awesome session. So if people would love to find you and see the works you do and basically know about Moyosore, where should they go to?
Okay. My Instagram page, my handle is Moyosore_B. Okay. Yes. So my Instagram page definitely, and my YouTube channel. My channel is called Ask Mo. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. It has really been awesome. Thanks for accepting that invite. So
you're welcome. I had so much fun. You know, I like talking, so I had so much fun. I had so much fun doing this as well.
All right. Awesome.